The CIA gave it 2 years to live. Few would have seriously predicted much success for the Jewish state. Its own national anthem was called The Hope. So poor it was rationing food for years. So isolated only Czechoslovakia would sell it arms. Surrounded by neighbors sworn to its violent destruction, closing their borders and boycotting it. Buckling under the pressure of mass immigration, its population doubling in 3 years. Hundreds of thousands of Jewish refugees from around the world. Boats full of Holocaust survivors sent straight to the front lines. Jews forced out of Arab lands, now in tent cities, East marrying West. It was one of the most radical political experiments of the 20th century, to take an ancient nation scattered around the world and make it independent again. On the 14th of May 1948, Israel proclaimed its independence. The United Nations General Assembly had voted to partition mandatory Palestine into 2 states, Jewish and Arab. The Zionists said yes. The Arabs said no. A civil war broke out between the Jews and Arabs of Palestine as the British authorities prepared to leave. Then when Israel declared independence, a concerted invasion of Arab armies vowing to destroy the Jewish state. But the Jews had their backs against the wall. There was nowhere to run. They fought back and won. Jordan took the West Bank and the old city of Jerusalem. Egypt, the Gaza Strip. Israel was bigger than the partition had planned, and it signed armistice agreements with its neighbors in 1949, but they refused to recognize Israel or make peace. Israel then faced terrorist attacks from the Palestinian Fedayeen, militants from among the 700,000 Arabs displaced during the war who vowed to return home. Israel responded with crushing reprisal attacks. For years, Western powers pressured Israel to relinquish territory to the Arabs. Egypt's President Nasser was threatening Israel with destruction. In 1956, Israel conspired with Britain and France to invade Egypt's Sinai Desert and push Nasser back. The United States forced Israel to give the peninsula back to Egypt. Israel was committed to being a democracy, despite its martial rule over the Arab minority for its first 19 years. It was a country born in the shadows of the Holocaust only 3 years after the liberation of Auschwitz. Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion normalized relations with West Germany, provoking widespread protests. But the massive reparations saved Israel's economy. In 1961, Israel kidnapped Nazi arch-criminal Adolf Eichmann from Argentina. He was taken to Jerusalem, put on trial for crimes against humanity, and hanged. The Arab armies were amassing on Israel's borders. In 1967, Egypt's President Nasser expelled UN peacekeepers from the Sinai. He blockaded the Straits of Tiran to Israeli shipping and threatened to throw the Jews in the sea, Syria and Jordan, in an alliance to invade the Jewish state. Israelis started digging mass graves in public parks, preparing for the worst. Then, on the morning of the 5th of June 1967, the Israeli army destroyed the entire Egyptian Air Force on the tarmac. 6 days later, the Middle East had changed forever.